Hi there, welcome, and thank you so much for being here today. I hope you're having a gorgeous day or night. We're going to get some clarity, see what messages would be the most helpful for you. This reading is timeless. Whenever it finds you, it's perfect. See what resonates, and remember, it's a collective reading. If it does not feel like it's your message, it's meant for somebody else. You're going to know when it's yours. It's going to twinkle different. And always follow and trust that beautiful, deep, direct, divine connection that is in you. Your direct connection to your higher self, to source, to God, to the universe. The answer is in you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition. So your decisions are sound, they're based in love, and for the highest, greatest good of everybody. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's begin. We're going to start with the tarot just to see what the foundational situation is. So let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. Right, you got the Two of Cups coming out first. This is one of the most beautiful Two of Cups cards. Look at it. It's so gorgeous. It feels like divine light. It's not even water. It's like a fountain of spiritual light. So these messages lately are very consistent and they definitely connect to love. If you are not interested in love and this is not your thing and you don't feel like this is your message, feel free to click off, because for most of you, love wants to come on into your life. Love's in somebody's brain, in the soul, in the heart. And if this feels like you don't know who I'm talking about right now, who is this person? It looks like some of you are being prepared for this love to enter into your life. Whether this is a new person or this is a loving connection, possibly for some of you in a new friendship or a business partnership, but there's still romance in this situation here. With the Two of Cups, it's two people that want to be together, that blossom like this lotus, maybe out of a muddy, murky, weird situation that they went through individually or perhaps together, but it's where this beautiful lotus blossoms in strength. It unfolds experience by experience, beautiful, heartfelt, open, honest conversation at a time. Look at how it's also where this is something that comes together and entwines with this fish energy. It feels like it's vulnerable. The fish is not like a big crab in the ocean that has the shell. This is something that every little ripple of love is felt. It's also where there's intuitive insight coming in to get you towards a specific meeting or to heal in a certain partnership, or it's a flowing energy that usually has meant that there has been a self-healing first. There's definitely been guidance received from that ace, from that beginning, that someone, you and looks like somebody else, has listened to get to this moment, this entwining of energy. It's love. It's very beautiful. It's also usually pretty simple. So even if it's a complicated situation, there's something still beautiful and pure about the simplicity of the love felt. It's an is for me. It's just an is. It doesn't really get into logical land so much as to why. And sometimes if somebody gets into too much logic as to why they love a certain person or why they have this really enrapturing feeling going on inside of their soul, that can constrain the simplicity of what it is. So it does look like love is coming in. If this is a certain person that you are already thinking about, I feel like the biggest message you need to hear right now is whether you have heard those words or not, whether this has been years into a situation or a simple destined, fated meeting. This person knows there's something about you that they love. They're in love with you, who you are, just because I just thought of that Nika Costa song. It's called Just Because. It's really beautiful. I'm gonna put it in the description. Give it a listen because it's really good. All right, so we know this is a love reading, and let's do some love messages. So let's go to the divine truth and get a little deeper at what is going on in the more specifics of the situation that is either coming on in, has happened prior for some of you to get you to this place, or what you're going through right now. So let's ask. I'm gonna go to the divine truth and let's just get a couple of messages and see what's going on in Loveland, because Loveland seems, I just heard like a bright future coming in. Maybe something felt kind of gray. I just thought of the song now by Live, The Beauty of Gray. Maybe it's not a black and white situation. Maybe it's spiritual color or a spiritual love that is not comparable to something else or somebody else. Let's get a little clarity. Tell us, please, what would be helpful to know about this partnership, this specific dynamic, this love in your heart, deep desire. I just saw like a warm sunset. Interesting, because you have this puffy paint girl coming through. It's like she has this neon puffy paint, even in the dark, even when the light is weird or the situation is, I just heard, strange or kind of an odd situation, maybe unusual. There's something that still stands out to you about a specific person. There's also something spiritually that stands out about you to a specific person. I cannot resist you. You are the best I've ever had. You have my undivided attention. And it's interesting because for some of you, if you have been intimate with a certain person, you definitely blew off their socks, blew their mind. There's something where in those moments, time completely went away and you were really just like chemistry was cray-cray. You were just really, I almost want to say overwhelmed, but like just really into one another, where there was nothing else that was being thought of. If some of you are only heading to your first date, there's also something about that moment where it's the best first date this person has ever had. And it's because of you. It's not really because of the activity or the place that you went on a date. It's your energy, and it's how this person is feeling when they're with you. That is what is special. Maybe you have unusual conversation. Maybe you have an unusual style. Maybe there's something about you, about how you move, where they just can't take their eyes off of you. And it's deeper than that surface thing. It's because it's that soul connection that somebody feels. I also feel like you are extremely attractive to someone, but I'm getting you feel the same way. Maybe you or the other person is a little more demure or a little more constrained or like reserved about letting somebody know how much they are attracted, but there's still something in the smile. There's still something in the flirts. There's still something in the overall vibe where it is felt, even if it is unsaid. Look at you. I also feel like, with this whole energy of love here and how you're just sort of glowing in the dark, for some of you, it probably is a very specific person that you feel that same vibe with. But I am getting that there's an overall attractiveness in your energy right now, where even if it's not somebody attracted to you with romantic intentions or fantasies, there's still an attractiveness about you. So it's still doors opening up, maybe jobs that are offered to you, people holding open the door, smiles from strangers. There's still something about people wanting to talk to you, wanting to just kind of be around you. There's something about your energy when you walk into a room, like the whole vibration of the room changes. It gets brighter. I also feel like heads turn. So let's get another message on love, Two of Cups, and irresistible. I see like somebody holding themselves back, and I hear constraining or restraining. So I do feel like for some of you, somebody feels a love that is kind of different, and I feel like their pace wants to be different with you. Like I feel like somebody really is trying to hold back, you know, how much they just want to jump on you. Like they really just want to go in, start that make out session already. But I feel like somebody is really trying to hold themselves back because they want it to unfold naturally. They want it, because I see that lotus, and I feel like somebody's really trying to be strong. But it's a challenge, whether that's you or that's the other person. Let's see, let's get another, what's another message from the divine truth, please and thank you. Cadence. I love this. This is where you're in rhythm, you're in harmony, you are inspiring somebody, you're the little muse to go in the closet and pull out their dusty ukulele. You are the first person they ever found they want to write a love poem about. You are somebody who maybe even, I just see that mash up. So maybe you don't sing the same song and it's not in harmony because it's maybe that's you, the same song. I feel like it's that mashup. It's the same chords, but maybe different songs. For some reason, that's even more interesting than one song with harmony. There's something that this person feels is just really interesting about you. You're my muse, you're my inspiration to create, you ignite my soul. I mean, I did see that. There's something about a soul connection. Also with cadence, there's something about the rhythm. You came in and switched up somebody's rhythm or inspired them to change the pace and how I did see that pace, how they normally would go about doing something. I also feel like there's something where at points with this person, it's going to feel like it's moving really fast. And then I'm getting that time stand still. I think that's another song. That's Sabrina Claudio. Hey, I mean, I will say, if you have some sassy moments, she is a very good person to put on, to have the sassy music on in the background. She's very sexy. Just something about her music. So I'll put that below for you guys. Let's get another message. There's definitely sexy energy coming through today. So if, again, you don't have a certain person that you're planning on going out on a date with, this could be somebody you meet out of the blue. This could also be you just in this beautiful, you know, cadence of your own rhythm, really starting to do your own thing, have, you know, some moments of fun in your life, whether that's out with friends, out by yourself, even doing something really artistic. There's something about, you know, with this guy on the guitar, your own personal expression. Maybe you're switching something up in how you express yourself. I don't know why I just keep seeing a song. Maybe you connect to somebody. Oh my goodness, guys. Hi, Rose. Maybe I'll show you that. That's at the bottom. For some of you, if you do have somebody that maybe you're reconnecting to, maybe that conversation starts with an honest apology, whether on your end or their end or both of you. Maybe there was a misunderstanding or getting, you know, off of the same page, a disconnect somewhere. Maybe somebody just didn't have all the information and get the truth of the other side's certain perspective or situation. Maybe somebody said something that really needs to, somebody really needs an apology, especially if anybody was hurt by something that was said or not said, done or not done. Somebody here wants to apologize. I'll never take you for granted again. I've learned my lesson and I am so sorry. I'm even getting this. If some of you have a new situation coming in, this is definitely somebody who's not afraid to own up to their mistakes, to, yeah, to like, it's like responsibility here. It's actually really nice. It's somebody that if they know they messed up, maybe they don't know you so well yet. This is somebody who wants to make it right, wants to make something better. They want to talk about a situation and resolve something instead of letting something go on too long. But if this is somebody that is in your past and they let something go on a little too long, maybe that first introduction or that first reconnection is a little hard. Maybe it's somebody sending you a song and that breaks the ice. Maybe for some of you, you just want an apology or would appreciate an apology from somebody from your past, but maybe there's not a getting back together situation. Maybe there's just an understanding that you're going to go your separate ways. Because for some of you, you have somebody coming in that you are wholeheartedly in love with, and they're in love with you too. That's what I saw here. That message. There is a certain person, there's a certain person here where, at least right now, from their higher self, they want you to know they are in love with you. Maybe they're going through a situation and trying to figure out what that is. If they felt like in the past they were in love, and yet that didn't feel the same as the way they are feeling now with you. There's something about this love being so much deeper and more spiritual and different and direct and divine than what they thought love was before. Maybe the examples they had, the relationships they were in. But I feel like that's also on your end. There's something that you're going to feel is different about a certain person. I did see like that makeout session. Maybe you're not gonna, wait till later. You just want to hide behind the flowers. You're like, I'm not waiting. I don't mind that PDA stuff. Loved you yesterday. Love you still. And always will. That's that eternal, forevs, and yet time doesn't exist on a soul level, parallel lifetimes kind of love. Hi, baby. So I'm gonna give a little love to Rose right now, and I think she needs to go outside. I'm going to be right back, and we're going to continue this reading for you. That actually worked out very nice. I went and got the Muse Tarot. It actually matches the colors of this very nice because of this cadence, and I realized I didn't have any earrings in, so I found these. They're actually guitar picks. These were a gift from a friend of mine. I haven't worn them in a while, so I felt like that was a little costume change that was appropriate. Let's begin. Let's go into the tarot, and let's get some extra deeper messages on what's going on with this specific, beautiful, divine, deep love. Coming in, rekindling. I hear a new reflection. Maybe even for some of you, you're having a new reflection on past partnerships, seeing something in a different way that's helping in your healing or your growth. But let's dive in and see what tarot messages would be helpful. What is the overall energy to have current focus on? Guess what it is? Guess what came through? The Two of Cups 2.0. So maybe this is a rekindling, or this is a second chance, or this is definitely divine energy coming in. If you, kind of didn't believe it at that first card that jumped on out, it looks like it's jumping on out again to let you know there's something happening. There's something that is definitely coming in. There's definitely somebody, if not now, they are going to be just so in love with you. Look at you're dancing underneath the water. It's this flow of energy. I did see something about a reflection. I saw something recently about clownfish as well. Maybe this person has a good sense of humor, and I'm just kind of going off regurgitating what I quickly saw on a blip, but I didn't know that about clownfish, that the reason they kind of go into human hands is because it's similar to where they hide. You know, they hide in the, I can't remember what the name of it is. If you know what the name of that is, then put it in the description, but it kind of moves and it actually gives off a toxin. But the clownfish is immune to it. So it actually forms protection for the clownfish. Also, the clownfish are all born male. And then some of them develop later on into the queen. This is really interesting. They develop into a female, into the queen, and then they choose, you know, their king. And then once they make a connection via love, that male fish then now becomes another queen. I think I have that right. Nature is so cool and weird. So maybe there is something about somebody tapping into, because of a certain partnership, that other yin or yang of themselves that isn't the dominant. But there's somehow a beautiful, you know, back and forth, ever-flowing moving of energy where somebody doesn't have to always be in the masculine or somebody's not always the feminine. It's a beautiful, like, dance of love, dance and balance between yin and yang, masculine, feminine. I really like that I just saw that, and there's a clownfish here. Maybe there's also something because I saw, you know, that toxic thing where maybe you are being protected or you were being protected from any kind of, you know, toxic partnerships or toxic situations, having this insight because you're tapping into divine energy. You're tapping into your intuition here with the emotions and the cups kind of energy. So there's something about this specific union being protected, maybe even protecting one another. There's also something, I keep hearing that unusual energy. There's also something where maybe you're just two peas in a pod, two clownfish in the, whatever that thing is, I can't remember. And it's like whatever the outside world perceives or thinks about or wants to chime in on what this partnership is, there's something that just the whole outside world kind of melts away because this love feels so deep that anyone's outside opinions kind of don't matter. They don't constrain, or they don't put any dimness on how bright this light is for these two to be together. This particular loving dynamic that is. It's really beautiful. I also feel like there's something really deep about this love where it's probably something a lot of people actually don't get to experience or don't experience in this divine way. I am getting that it is divinely protected, divinely brought together, and I am definitely seeing that this is a soul-to-soul contract, maybe to heal past lives, parallel lives, past situations. But I also feel like this love is so beautiful that it's in turn going to be healing to everyone you and this person are around. It's like this love is so beautiful, it's just felt. Maybe not understood, but definitely felt. Maybe not always accepted. And yet there's some kind of strength that comes in where I feel like even those that maybe didn't want to see how divine this is or why you are a certain way with this person, maybe different with someone else, or you were different with your past relationships, or you were different with your friends, or something about the friendship here that is so in tune that you might confuse others. But I feel like even if others maybe chimed in on their opinions or didn't quite get why you're falling so hard for a certain person, I feel like they're going to come around. I feel like my phone just got brighter. That was really weird. I feel like maybe this apology isn't necessarily from that person, but maybe it's from others that really didn't see why somebody was so important, or why somebody is going to be so important, or why there is somebody coming in your life you've made so many changes for. I just see like a softening energy, or like hearts melting, or people finally realizing, maybe later, but I feel like it starts with the strength that you and this person have, and the almost don't give a shit what anyone else thinks kind of attitude, where eventually, if somebody was really in a weird vibe, they're just not going to connect to the vibe of this love, and they're probably just going to scurry on away like that toxic energy. Maybe there's somebody who has their own karma to attend it to, or go through for their own personal journey, their own personal soul's growth. But I do feel like a lot of people are going to be attracted to not just you, but you two together. Because I feel like this is a really fun energy. It feels like a fun couple. I feel like, you know, maybe the two of you are going to build new friendships together. Even if you are the two peas in a pod, or the two fish in the lotus. There's something about vibrant energies, vibrant personalities, interesting, maybe even unusual people that kind of will appear in your lives. And I'm getting it. They feel like they are blessed to know both of you, but you also feel the same about them. I like that extra message. Okay, clarify. Two of Cups and the Two of Emotions, please and thank you. It's like I clarified. It was the same card that came through. So let's see maybe what you don't see. Let's clarify something that's maybe under the surface of a situation, or that you had a weird reflection about, or was maybe in the dark, and we're going to put a little UV light and expose that puffy paint. See what's going on, coming on in that you don't see yet, but would be helpful to know about. What would be helpful for the collective to know that they don't yet see? What does the collective not yet see? What is coming to light? Interesting that you got the black hole here. So for some of you, this flipped out upside down. So for some of you, what you don't see is you have maybe somebody coming back from your past. But I feel like once they got sucked into that black hole and got spit out through the wormhole into another timeline, they had a big old journey, even if it was short, even if it was years. There's something about somebody had to go on a self-discovery on their own to learn who they are becoming, who they want to be. They had to, you know, gain some strength to go out there into the big unknown. Can't see what's going on in that black hole, but there's something that was pulling them towards a journey where they got to discover who they are becoming, or who they really want to be. And it's possibly somewhere in that black hole, they figured out that they are meant to come back around to you. So for some of you, you have somebody coming back. For some of you, you have somebody that's being pulled in a different direction out of your life, because that's creating the space for something pretty phenomenal to come in. So if some of you do have somebody leaving your life, that's somebody that needs to go on their own journey, to be on their own, to, experience different territory, maybe different partnerships, whatever it is, that's their journey. I don't feel like you're going to jump in that black hole with them. For some of you, this is you knowing that maybe where you were wasn't feeling fulfilling anymore. Because the Eight of Emotions is where you started to build something in your environment and you got really used to it. And at one point, maybe you put all of your love into it, all of your heart into it, time and energy and effort. But then it just plateaued. It stopped building. It stopped filling up your cup. There was something always kind of missing. But it takes a lot of balls. It takes a lot of strength to really recognize what's not working, even though you may be used to something, that other direction that is maybe the unknown. You don't even have the map. You've never experienced a relationship with that person, or been in that territory, or moved to that location, whatever it is. It's where that journey is so valuable to your soul, where before whatever wasn't growing was now starting to be a repeating pattern, a karmic cycle where the growth was stunted. So sometimes it is letting go of that old thing, even though it's bittersweet, because you still have that vibrant sense that there's something better, that there's something out there. I mean, absolutely meant for you. Sometimes it's just recognizing a cycle is over, and you get that urge, that desire that you're ready to take at least a couple steps into a new cycle. See how it is, see how you feel, see how you change, see if you grow, see what you learn about yourself. And I always see that boomerang, you know, with 8 of emotions or the 8 of cups. So even, I always see that as something can come back together, but when it does, that togetherness now has a different dynamic because of the growth that has happened. So it can be for some of you where you had a deep love connection with a certain person. Maybe there was a separation. Maybe somebody felt like, you know, the vibes weren't matching, you weren't on the same page, and one chose to go in a different direction. There's been some space. Maybe you come back together, say, hey, how are you? What's been happening? That was a weird breakup. Sorry, so much time has gone by. How you doing? And you reconnect in each other's lives, but that sassy love thing, that chemistry is just kind of not there anymore. And maybe you can become friends. You know, that's usually 2 strong individuals that can do that, that can recognize, hey, we had a time. You know, the time we spent together was beautiful. Got a little weird sometimes, but it was meant to be for where we are at that point in our lives. And even though, you know, it got a little awkward a little while before we each grew on our own, I still care about you. So how can we be in each other's life? Catch up every once in a while. And that's not for all of you. It's also where, you know, you go away to college, you come back to your room, it's still your room. You still love, you know, the posters on the wall and your little jewelry box and everything, but you're not going to play with your teddy bears the same at 22 as you did when you were 5. You still have that love for that environment, but how you see it is now changed because you've had growth. Your life has changed. It's not necessarily good or bad. It's more a neutral situation. So let's see, maybe somebody's coming back around, but coming back around different. Maybe for some of you, you're the one coming back around. Maybe you're just going on that journey and you have no desire to go back into the black hole after it spits you out in a way better place. So let's see what this soul's journey is about. Yeah, you have the Hanged Muse. So it was a pause. Even if for some of you on this journey, there has been a long pause where you have not met anybody you're really interested in. Or maybe there was a little chemistry, but didn't get really past the surface. It didn't really go so deep. You didn't feel like this, you know, 2 of Cups 2.0, or maybe it started to. It was a good couple of dates, but then it never turned out to be, you know, something of true value in your life or there for your highest and greatest good. So whatever this pause was, whether somebody put you on pause, whether you needed to go on pause, go internal, this Hanged Muse energy, by the way, she has these sassy like disco shoes on. She's like on a high wire here. She looks like she's swinging. She actually, you know, when you like swing around, at least I did that in elementary school, where you'd like kind of go around. I think it's called a penny drop. And then you'd like land on your feet. I see that where somebody was swinging. If you do hang up there upside down a little too much, it does get a little weird. The blood goes to your head. You know, the world starts look a little wonky, but there's something about somebody gaining their stability, but you learn something from the wonky energy. This hangman energy is where somebody has had true illumination. It looks like here, I don't know, with this pyramid, I always see the energy that comes out of that pyramid almost like a caduceus. Healing. There's also an eye here. So there's something about somebody's third eye, their crown chakra, their insight and intuition really opening up. There's something that somebody gained in this break where it truly inspired their soul development, spirituality. And once you see something in that perspective, then when you were, you know, getting lost in the pyramids down here, or inside the pyramid where it was dark and there was no light on, once you know this vantage point, this viewpoint, this perception upon something, you can't unsee it. Once you go on that journey and you get to see maybe how you are different with a different person, or how you are different in a new territory, or how you feel so much better when you're somewhere where you feel this growth, where you feel like something is free and not a bunch of strings attached, then you can't go back to the what was energy, because you've discovered something that is so much better. It's so much different. And not that where you was bad, but you discover what's better for you for where you are now. And that's really connecting to where you want to move, how you want to flow, how you are inspired to grow. The Hanged Muse is a purposeful pause. It's where you figure out what you have to walk away from, let go of, and create the space for new energy to come in. Because it's just that once you really know, once you see something, once your heart is pitter-pattering, or you know, really just elevated, or really just melts in a different way than it ever has before, you don't want to go back to settling. You don't want to go back to like just taking breadcrumbs. You don't want to go back to where somebody's always out of harmony or singing a totally different tune, but that's not in the same key, and that gets weird. You know, it's like an out of tune violin. You do have here, I looked at it, so we'll take that. You do have balance coming back in, answers through meditation. This is the energy of peace. Look at how your eyes are actually putting spiritual light on what you see, and yet your eyes are closed. It's interesting. I just had a reading that I did, I think it was yesterday, with the rose petals in the bath. So I am getting a little romance energy here, but it's like you're bathing in the universe. You're bathing in the universe of possibilities here. You're somewhere where you don't have to always have your eyes on, or you're walking on eggshells, or you're going to bed, or you're in surroundings where you always felt like you had to have your armor on, have your guard up. Even if it was a big fluffy bed, there's something kind of uncomfortable about the old situation, or how you were perceiving a certain situation. This is where somebody takes off the armor, you're getting in your birthday suit, you're not just sticking your toe in, but you're totally bathing in the universe. You're bathing in this universe of possibilities and energy around you. And that's helping you to focus, even see something that felt like it was in the dark. Because now, in this peaceful state of mind, I just thought of the Meryl Bainbridge song. I think it's called State of Mind. It has like a clock ticking. That's where you are gifted the insight to feel energies, or understand or understand things that maybe weren't right in front of your eyes before, but you just have this knowing now. It's also being at peace for wherever you are on your journey, and however something needs to open up in divine timing. It's being at peace with whatever the page you are on right now today is, and finding that center in you. So we're going to end the reading, but I'm going to end big. I think, yeah, I have it. I have these beautiful cards. I love them. This is the archetypes. So let's just sort of sum up all of this energy here. Apology, cadence, love. 8 of emotions, 2 of emotions in love. Irresistible, the Hanged Muse. And the 4 of voices. I like that it's voices too, because I feel like this is also if somebody's throat chakra was maybe a little blocked. There's something about this love kind of moving up to the throat to the voice. And there's something where if somebody was a little nervous or not normally adapt to speak about how they actually feel, there's something about this bridge across to a certain person where even if in the past they felt like that was just a small little voice, their voice is gaining strength and growing, heading towards, I'm also getting this as maybe somebody's inner voice that they are speaking up about their truth. So let's get an archetype to end this reading, please and thank you. What is the final message archetype that connects to all of this beautiful energy today, please and thank you? Final message. The medallion. It kind of reminds me of a pentacle, but maybe somebody actually has a token or a piece of jewelry, something like that. It represents something. There's also this hand reaching out for something that looks, I mean, look at the energy off of that medallion. It looks like it's almost a star. It's almost a compass. It's golden. So maybe this is something that has to do with even a tangible offer that you can hold, that you can touch. And somebody is, instead of, being closed arms, they're open-handed towards receiving it. I hope she's not loud. Hold on. She started howling. There was a siren there. So she actually sounded exactly like the siren. Maybe that siren has a purpose as well. The medallion, the amulet, the talisman, the heirloom. The passing on of sacred objects is an ancient ritual within families, between lovers, and in tribes across the globe. We gift jewels, treasures, keepsakes, and moments of all kinds, mementos of all kinds. You hear that again? I'm going to pause you before she gets loud. Hold on. It's really far away. All right, so mementos of all kinds. Some of great material value, others that hold emotional resonance, and still others with both. Yet, when these gifts are bestowed upon us, it's important to recognize that they may bind us to an unspoken agreement or promise. When the medallion card appears, be aware of how the objects you hold dear may be embedded with unconscious energies or expectations. Materials hold consciousness, and it's time to reconcile the vibration of, interesting, the objects around you. What do you covet and collect? Why? Is there a specific object you have held on to for years that you are ready to release? Perhaps it is time to reach for the medallion that aligns with your deepest values. When it's light, it's upholding tradition, protecting and honoring. When it's dark, it's burdensome inheritance and habitation. Go deeper, ancient Egyptian scarab amulets. Interesting, because the scarab is a representation of the brain. Imagine if you and your family, school, or social group had a crest, emblem, or amulet. What would it be? Draw it. Maybe this has to do with the family crest. Do you believe that objects contain supernatural properties? When have you experienced this to be true? I actually did have that message for some of you in past readings, where if you go into something like a thrift store, it can sometimes be a little overwhelming, and maybe you don't quite understand why, but it's because of the energies You know, the different things those objects have been through, the different people that have held on to them, and what their vibration was. And if you're really sensitive, you could connect to those energies. If there's something you've been holding on to, and it's starting to maybe not feel quite right anymore, or it could be it's holding you on to that old part of you that, you know, even if you have a connection to that part or that time, that relationship, you know, those moments, there's something about you being strong enough to maybe just put something in the jewelry box. I did see a jewelry box this time when I thought about the kid coming back from college, which is interesting because I don't usually get the jewelry box. Usually I just get the posters and the stuffed animals and stuff like that. So maybe it is putting something away. And if some of you feel like you are meeting a certain person, I just thought of like in the what is that? In like the 60s when somebody would give you their pin, their varsity pin or whatever, like they pinned me, you know, not quite a ring. So maybe it's a promise ring or a promise pin or a promise necklace. It's something like that. But there's something that you get, and it's not about how expensive it is. It's who it's from and what it represents. You know, it could be one of those, you remember like those friendship bracelets that were just kind of woven? It can be as simple as that, but because of a certain person that gave it to you, it's meaningful. And there's something about you switching up, something that maybe had a lot of meaning, but there's something that's going to feel vibrationally different coming in, that you feel really proud to wear or proud to give. So with this, I bid you adieu. I guess with the last thing was the intentions. You know, if somebody is giving you something, but their intentions feel a little bit odd, or they kind of are giving you something because they want something back, I don't think that's that thing you're going to feel good about. I feel like this is equal. So I hope these messages were helpful for you today. I love you so very much, and I look forward to seeing you really soon. Before I go, I do want to take note that there is a doorway in that pyramid that takes you to that universe of possibility, but it's following that energy of that sun, warmth, love, growth, expansion. With this, I bid you adieu. I love you so much, and I'll see you very soon.